Welcome to the Rocket League Film Room. A-Dub here, and we're back with another replay analysis. This time, it's game number 2 from Osama, now known as That's It Gaming. This is their second game. They played against Kronovi, JKnaps, and Moses. Possibly a G2 squad for RLCS Season 3. We'll just have to wait and see. But this is the second replay they submitted. I already did an analysis for the first one, and they've got one more that I'm planning on looking at before January is up. So we're going to go ahead and go through this replay, point out things that they did well, point out things that they could do better at, and maybe at the end talk about ways they can improve on those things. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's jump ahead here. I think this was your first mistake. Alright, so let's take a look at this formation. I think this was y'all's first mistake here. Popotski, or like with the formation that you guys have right now, Popotski, I think you are more responsible for anything like back post or on the left side of the goal. And the problem comes in that Popotski and Hero both go for this ball. I think Hero has a much better angle to take this shot. Popotski, you want to be ready to play Hero's shot if it comes across the goal. And a lot of times people will miss this kind of shot high, and it'll hit off the wall and then, you know, kind of come bouncing over here. And if you already have somebody over here on the left side, then you're able to play this up. But what happens here is both of you go for it. Hero actually does get a nice touch on it, but the problem is now nobody is here really to follow up. JKnaps is clear. Now RunningCatDog now knows that you both went for it, so he has to kind of play this a little bit slower. If he knew Popotski didn't go for it, maybe he could have been a little bit closer here to take the shot, because you want to have someone midfield at all times if possible, especially when balls like this come out, because this is an easy rip at the goal, and it's really hard for the goalie to save when the ball is just rolling across midfield like this. So really what you want to do here, go back just a little bit, Popotski, you want to stay put, be a little bit more patient here. Patience is probably the key word I can give you. And if we go to your view, you couldn't really see, you could kind of see Hero like coming on screen a little bit, but I doubt he would have seen that in game. He's probably just looking at the ball here and where JKnaps is. So just being a little bit more aware of where your teammate is and knowing your duties. Like if you're back post, you got to cover back post shots or anything that goes past the goal. You don't want to cut across midfield and take shot chances away from your teammate. So just keep that in mind. If you're in that position, that's kind of what your duty is. Alright, so this next play happened right after the first one I pointed out. If you remember, that ball just rolled across the middle of the field, and I was like, someone's got to be there to take that shot. Now, RunningCatDog is there. In fact, he gets not too bad of a hit on the ball. You at least made Moses turn around and make him had to, you know, catch this and make sort of an awkward play. Probably not that difficult for Moses, but, you know, that's the kind of, you know, hits you want to get. But let's look and see what happens and what could have happened that was better. So I think the main problem here is that Hero started to turn for this, and for whatever reason, he turned away. I'm guessing it's because RunningCatDog called him off. And so two things could have happened here. Hero, if you had kept going for this, you could have made a pass to Popotski. That was actually set up pretty nicely. He was definitely looking for the pass the way that he's turned, and Moses is facing the opposite way. There's no way he would have been able to save a pass directly from Hero to Popotski. Not easily anyways. So that's kind of problem number one. RunningCatDog did have a good touch on the ball, but I think Hero, I think if you had still gone through with your original plan, it would have worked out better in the situation. So the other option would have been for Hero to, instead of turning for this, if you had just left this for RunningCatDog and grabbed this boost, you would have been on attack. You would have stayed on their side of the field, and it's possible that RunningCatDog could have hit you a pass. You probably would have grabbed the boost and been somewhere like over here, and then RunningCatDog would hit it to you. You would have hit it towards the goal, and maybe Popotski follows up for a finish. But that option didn't happen either. What happens here now is that RunningCatDog gets not a horrible touch, but really nothing good was going to come out of this. Moses catches this pretty easily. And then you guys end up in what I like to call the line formation. And I see this a lot, even from my own gameplay. Anytime you're in a straight line like this, there's really nothing you can do on offense. Basically, when you end up like this, Popotski's playing that RunningCatDog's going to miss. So he's basically playing the support role. He cuts across the field because Hero went back. So now he's in the support role for RunningCatDog. So he's playing, if RunningCatDog misses, then I'm there to back him up. The problem is Hero is also playing the same role. He's basically playing back, so if RunningCatDog misses and Popotski misses, Hero's there to back him up. But like I said, with this formation, no one is there to receive a pass. Even if RunningCatDog was to center this, Popotski's facing the wrong way and can't really do anything here. Now he turns. Again, Popotski passes, but nobody's here because you guys were just in a straight line. So let's see what could have happened. Obviously, option number one was Hero to make that pass to Popotski. Option number two would have been for Hero to, as he rotates back here, to grab this boost and just kind of hang tight and let Popotski stay where he is. So Hero would be somewhere over here with the boost. If you kind of imagine Hero, sitting right here. And then RunningCatDog hits this ball. Popotski stays more to the right in case, RunningCatDog was to make the pass off the backboard or something. And then Moses gets this touch. Hero starts to move up. And then Hero basically now is where Popotski is. And Popotski is still over here. And then Hero makes the same exact touch that Popotski makes. And now Hero is here to come in and... Popotski is here to come in and finish. Sorry, that was probably a little bit confusing. But basically what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is... you've got to position yourself in a way that you can receive passes from your teammates. And you had two options on that play, and neither happened just due to either miscommunication or not trusting your teammates. If you commit to going to the ball, like if you start to turn towards the ball and think you have a good hit, a lot of times it's better to just trust your first instinct. And I think Hero, your first instinct was correct to turn on this ball. Because you could have made a pass here. And I think if RunningCatDog did call you off here, I think he was wrong to do so. But that's going to happen during the course of the game. But basically what you want to avoid is this kind of formation. If you're all facing towards the wall, there's nothing you can do. There's no kind of offense you can set up here. This is about as passive as a formation as you can get, where each one of you is just playing to back up your teammate in case they aren't able to get a hit. So try to position yourself more in a triangle so that you can make passes to each other, and you'll have a lot better offense and more opportunities to score. All right, so this next play, RunningCatDog sets up an air dribble. It's pretty uncontested. Well, actually, it's completely uncontested. Nobody is there to even go up with RunningCatDog here. But he doesn't really get the best takeoff, and I don't know how much boost he has. At this point, his only option is to try to pass this to somebody. But the problem is, Popotski is out of boost. He's waiting here for the boost canister. Hero's sitting in goal. Nobody's here to even attempt to make, or to receive a pass from RunningCatDog. Now, Kronovi's already up. So, you would have had to beat Kronovi to the ball as well. And that probably would have put someone else out of position. But just in general, not having someone in the middle of the field to even go up and attempt, to challenge this. You just gotta have somebody there. So Kronovi gets a block. Now it does work out that now Hero is back to sort of play this next hit. But basically, RunningCatDog wasted all his boost to try to make a play. In hindsight, it might have been better for him to just take it up along the wall so that he would have given his teammates a little bit more time to get boost. If you carry it in the middle of the field and your teammates don't have boost, you guys are going to be in a world of hurt because you're going to land on the ground with no boost and nobody's going to be there to even try to make an attempt on your pass. So that's another thing with comms. Like if your teammates say you don't have boost, try not to take the ball to the middle of the field, especially in the air dribble. That's going to leave you vulnerable. Because if we look, you used all your boost, and now you're out of the play. It's up to your teammates now to save the day on defense here. So just keep that in mind. If your teammates don't have boost, you don't want to try to center the ball because the other team is just going to take it from you. Okay, on this next play, RunningCatDog tries to double back up the wall, and it's not a bad idea because your teammates are already rotating back, but you get a really bad touch on it and end up sending it all the way back in your end. And it's not the end of the world to get a hit like this if your teammates are ready to follow it up. But if you look and see the positioning of your teammates, this probably isn't going to end well. Popotski misses. Hero came way too close to Popotski on this. And, you know, at first I thought maybe he didn't see Popotski, but there's no way he didn't see him. I think he just made a bad decision here. Because if we go to his view, you can see where Popotski is. You got to give him his space here. You start to turn here, but Popotski turned too. And maybe that was just a miscommunication. Maybe you thought Popotski was going to keep going back, and you were trying to, you know, turn on this. But these kind of things really can't happen. You've got to keep your space. So at this point, even if Popotski said he was going back, I would have taken a much wider rotation here. I would have probably come back more, you know, back over this way, and let Popotski turn on this. Now, if you had at least been over here after he misses, you know, maybe you can come in and block this before he shoots. But it puts you in a bad spot, so you have to try to make a play at this point. And that backflip you did there, I don't know if that was completely intentional or not, but you almost set him up. But you were able to recover and actually make a pretty nice save here. So it didn't hurt you too bad in the end. But you just got to keep your space. If you get that close to your teammate, it means somebody is wrong. Either you were wrong for getting that close to Popotski, or Popotski should have just kept rotating back. One of those two things should have happened, and it didn't. But luckily, you guys didn't suffer too bad from that. All right, I just wanted to take a second here and commend RunningCatDog for probably the most gracious mount I've ever seen in Rocket League. And I'm going to play it here in slow-mo for you, just so you can get a full appreciation for what happened. So here RunningCatDog is going for the 180 mount on the back of Moses here. As Moses is trying to get away, RunningCatDog chases him down and hits, like I said, probably one of the most gracious mounts on the back of Moses that I have ever seen. Like, let me zoom in here just so you can get a full appreciation. I mean, you can see the boost trail. Like, Brett, what are you doing to Moses? Oh, God. I saw this, you know, in the middle of the game, and I had to point this out. I mean, honestly, that was pretty impressive. And the dismount was just as good as the mount. I'm sure if Moses saw this, he'd be pretty impressed too. So good job on that. That's definitely a highlight of this video. Okay, so after the majority of the game was actually pretty tight. You guys were kind of going back and forth and keeping up with them, and it was impressive. But then the goals really started piling on, really from both sides. But it got a little bit sloppy here in the second half of the game. A lot of it, though, were just missed touches, bad touches on the ball. One of them I'm going to point out here, but I'm not going to really point out the rest of them because if you get a bad touch on the ball, that's self-explanatory of what went wrong. But I just want to point out one little thing here. And I think maybe I went too far. Let me go back a little bit. So on these kind of hits Popotski is going for, and I know he probably didn't mean to do this. And I'm guessing what you were probably trying to do was, you know, dodge into this and hit this more upfield. But if you dodge into it like this and don't hit it upfield at an angle so that it bounces back towards their goal, you're going to hit them with an absolute beauty of a center pass. And I think the angle that you went up at, you would have been better off just, you know, hitting this with your tires or just trying to catch it. Either way, just kind of lightly tapping it towards the wall. You want to keep them, you know, towards the wall so there's no angle for them to shoot. And you hit this just a little bit too hard because you dodged into it. I think you would have liked to just, like I said, you know, give it a light little tap. so that your teammates have time to rotate all the way back. Hero wasn't even back yet. RunningCatDog probably didn't even have boost. If we look and see what happened. Moses takes a shot at Kronovi. I don't know if Kronovi actually hit this. No, he didn't. But RunningCatDog at this point is probably, you just have to guess where he's going to shoot this. And he just hit a banger above you. There's not much you can do at that point. It's got to be stopped at midfield if possible. But yeah, if you can, you know, get light little taps so that the ball doesn't bounce off the wall in the middle when nobody's there, just keep it on the outside so people can't take shots on you like that. Okay, so this next goal that was scored by them, I think could have been prevented, and I'm going to show you how. And this is one of the things that I used to struggle with a lot, and I still have some issues with it. And what happens when you're the guy, when you're the third man, and Hero here is the third man, you're always itching to come out of the goal so you can make a play and make a huge clear, get a nice hit on the ball. But the problem is, and he did also get hit by Kronovi, although he didn't really go anywhere. When you're the third man, you can't line up near post like this unless Popotski is behind you to take away the far post, shot or pass. You've got to line up a little bit in the goal, I guess, further back here, because what happens almost every single time I do this, I regret it instantly, is the ball gets hit over you, and there's almost nothing you can do at this point. You're just YOLO diving at it and hoping you can save it. But if you had been further back, inside the goal a little bit, once this is hit, easy enough to go up and block this shot. You even have Popotski and RunningCatDog looking for a pass. So the biggest thing I can give you here, you got to fight the itch to cheat up in the corner here. You don't want to move up. And I realize Kronovi hit you, but you were already far enough out of the goal that you wouldn't have been able to make the save. And you did realize it, and you tried to back up, but it was just a little bit too late at that point. So just make sure you line up a little bit further back in goal if there's nobody behind you. If there's someone behind you, then you can cheat up a little bit to shut off the the near post shot. But if there's not, you got to be a little bit more patient and make sure that you're able to take away those crosses that go across the goal. So the last thing I'm going to point out from this replay is probably one of the better team plays I saw you get. It wasn't like a three-person pass, but every one of you made a very important move on this play. So back it up just a little bit. Hero gets a nice touch off the wall, and then he does a good job. In the past, we've seen Hero be a little bit too quick to rotate out of the play, but this time he's aggressive, and he makes a move towards Moses, who does not see him coming. Moses doesn't see him coming at all, and he gets a demo on Moses. This smoke screens JKnaps, so JKnaps probably doesn't even really see the ball at this point. And now Popotski is in a really good place here to follow up this shot. RunningCatDog does good to hit this off the ceiling, so it's coming straight down. That's really tough for the goalie to save. And this is a really, really nice shot by Popotski to read this, off the ceiling, off the wall, and then able to follow the shot up and get a touch, hit the post, but it went in. That was one of the better team plays I saw you guys make throughout this game, and even from last game, where each one of you made an important touch or an important play in this sequence. So I just want to point that out. That was a really good job, and hopefully the better you guys get, we'll see more stuff like that, especially against teams like this. Everybody's got to be involved to score goals, against good teams. So that about wraps up this replay. The biggest things I want you guys to take away from this, number one, avoid the line formation. If you are all in a line on the side of the wall, there's no one to pass to. So you got to trust each other. Trust that your teammate is going to win the battle. If all of you are just backing up each other, you're not going to be able to make an offensive play, and it's going to be easy for the other team to control you because you're only controlling, a third of the field, probably even less. Like I said, the play I pointed out where you guys were in a line, there were multiple options for you guys to have a pass play, but none of those happened. So trust your instincts. Trust that your teammate's going to be there for you when you make a pass, and you guys will have a lot more offensive opportunities. There was the play right there where nobody was there to receive a pass because you guys were in a straight line. So the one other thing that I saw from this replay was just sort of like a simple mistake. is lining up too close into the corner when you're the third man in the goal. If nobody's behind you, you got to make sure that you can shut down those crosses from the side when it goes back post, because those are almost impossible to save if you're not already at least a little bit into the goal, facing out where you can jump up and challenge that. If you start cheating in the corner, they're just going to hit it over you, and then someone's going to come in and slam it, and you just have to kind of jump and hope for the best. So avoid that. It's something I do a lot. It's something I've seen a lot of people do just because you're itching to get out of the goal. But you just got to be a little bit more patient. So that about wraps up this replay. Hopefully it helped you guys. I'm still planning on getting to the third one. I haven't watched it yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get you guys another one so you can look at in your preparation for the Montreal LAN that's coming up. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next one.